Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV edition. I'm Peter, that is Tim, and we are working our way through Tales from the Crypt, the original HBO horror anthology series, and this is going to be season 4, episode 4. It's called Seance, and full spoilers for the episode as always. So, this is an episode that is unique to me from this show, at least so far, and I guess the only one that's done the whole, we'll start at the end of the story, and then we'll
Oh,
cut
yes.
back to the start, and we'll say, okay, 3 weeks earlier, whatever it was, whatever it said on the screen,
Mhm.
and we'll see how we got to this point. So we start the episode with the characters Allison and Benjamin, who are setting up a con job. They are con artists. At least at this point in the episode, though, it kind of feels like, oh, maybe they're just, like she's going to do like a reading for someone. She's pretending to be a
Mhm.
psychic, and you think, oh, is this just like what she does? She's a con artist who does psychic readings, and you think that's all she does, and
Mhm.
that's their whole game. But it cuts back a week early, and you find out no, this is just what they're doing is a last ditch effort to like finish a con they'd already started. They were trying
Mhm.
to con this guy, Mr. Chalmers, out of was it $400,000 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
They came up with this crackpot story about how she was actually his long lost cousin, and he played this lawyer character who was doing the will for this character, this deceased, supposedly her father and his long lost uncle that he never knew about, and like they're setting up this con where they're going to convince him, oh well, the lawyers owed a percentage, but if we buy him out, we can keep the money for ourselves. And she kind of seduces him, even though they're supposed to be cousins, but he's okay with that because she's attractive, so fine,
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then like he kind of catches them out in the act because we'll get to why as we go through it, but
Mhm.
and we get some. He eventually dies. He eventually is killed. In a really funny way, actually, under an elevator, and then the elevator
I'm
comes back up.
mankind's oldest enemy.
Yeah, the elevator comes
The
back
elevator.
up, to their floor, and there's like intestines hanging from it, and I thought that was pretty funny.
That was a cool. Yeah.
That was a really cool moment. But so the final sort of trick is that the Mr. Chalmers' wife is going to this seance to contact her dead husband to find out if he still wants to give this money to the lawyer, which is really convoluted, by the way. That she like,
Oh yeah.
because she happens to be blind, so they're doing this con because okay, she's got her usual person she goes to for this sort of thing, but she doesn't know what she looks like. So as long as she can do the voice, they can pretend they're doing it, and then we get
It's
the.
pretty convoluted.
It's really convoluted, but then we get the ending, of course, where the dead husband actually does show up and
Mhm.
murders them for what they've done. So that's the episode. So Tim, did you
Yeah.
enjoy Seance?
It was okay. I didn't overly love it. Wouldn't be one of my favorites, but there were good moments in it. Like you said, the elevator scene, I thought was pretty cool, and um, I did think some of like the twists and turns it takes was kind of funny. And then yeah, there's the ending was it's kind of maybe a little out of nowhere because they haven't really set up any type of like supernatural element
Yeah,
or anything.
they really haven't. I mean, they set up slightly at the start because she gets what's his name, Benjamin,
Mhm.
who was otherwise playing the lawyer, to hide in the closet in this sort of like robe that he's going to come out and pretend to be the dead husband. And as she's walking away at the start of the episode, you hear his voice change, and that's like the okay, something spooky's going on. But then it goes back to a week earlier, and then the rest of the story has nothing to do with anything supernatural.
Yeah.
So as you say, it feels kind of like, oh, okay, this wasn't really set up that this kind of thing would happen.
Mm.
I mean, even the fact that he has a wife, or the wife's blind, and even would be the sort of person who goes to a seance to talk to her dead husband, just comes up towards the end. Like, all of
Yeah.
it's about trying to con him. And the fact that he's got a wife's a fact because they obviously they take photos of them having sex to blackmail him in case that's like plan B. Plan A is just to trick him into giving the money, but if he catches us, we've got the photos to blackmail him with. So
And it is kind of funny. They show him the photos, and he just laughs and he says, "My wife will never see this."
Which
And then
I like that. That was a really nice twist when the wife turns up and she's blind. It's like, oh, that's why I didn't care
yeah,
about the photos. That's
Yeah.
actually really good. That's a witty little twist to why I didn't care about that. The rest of the ending though is really convoluted.
yeah,
I thought it was okay though. Like I think it's saved by the fact that I thought the three lead actors, both Alison and Benjamin, who are the con artists, and then Mr. Chalmers, I thought they were all pretty good. It was a shorter episode, so it was a bit brisker, which I thought was good. The elevator death was insanely funny. Like I properly had fun with that. The some of the setup for it did sort of drone on a little bit with them sort of talking about their plan and kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, we're going to do this. I'm going to move to this beach, and you're going to move wherever you'll be going. I think I said Wisconsin. Uh, that's the paradise you go to when you've
Yeah.
got that
Oh, of
that
course.
last con job. Um, it did very
Now,
much feel like a sort of classic Tales from the Crypt episode, in that you've got
mhm.
a con man, or in this case, two con people, try to pull a job and they get their comeuppance. Is very typical in that sense. I don't think it does enough to really stand out amongst the pack of those types of episodes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a bad time, and much like last
Right.
week's episode, I was never really bored though
Exactly.
either.
Yeah.
So middle of the road, as in some fun stuff, some stuff I liked. I don't have a whole lot to complain about either though. It's just not particularly
Mhm.
special or noteworthy beyond that
Yeah.
one funny elevator moment.
Yeah, I would say so. It's kind of funny too, just seeing like this kind of con that they're doing because it reminds me of like I've gotten emails like kind of similar to this stuff before. I don't know if you ever gotten like these kind of spam things, but I've gotten stuff where like I'll get an email from a lawyer in the UK telling me that I'm the closest relative to this like person that just passed and like they want to wire me money, but I have to pay like a fee or something. And I thought it was just kind of like,
I've
oh, it's
never,
funny. People were doing that back then too.
yeah, I've never had that. I've had you've won a competition. I never entered a competition.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
away. Go away. I've had that. I don't think I've ever had that specific instance where someone's trying to tell me that I'm related to someone who had money. Um,
It's just so funny too because they'll be like, "Oh, like we know you're the closest living relative," and it's like, "Oh, no, because I have parents and brothers and stuff that would you would contact first." But whatever.
yeah, exactly. Like, unless your parents are dead,
Yeah,
like there's no way that you could be the last living relative. So that is
yeah,
actually complete bollocks. Yeah, that's a really really good point. That's a good thing. If you get one of these messages, you like
yeah.
ask yourself, are my parents alive? And if they are, then you know it's a lie. If your parents have passed away and you have no aunts or uncles, then fair enough. There's maybe a chance, probably not, but it's at least possible on that
Yeah.
level. So that's cool. Um, yeah, it's an okay episode. I think, like we say, the ending was really convoluted. It was.
Yeah.
I will say also how he found out that they were pulling a con job was also pretty convoluted. Like Benjamin
Oh yeah.
just happens to start singing the song that they put on in the hotel room, and they were and she was having sex with him to so they could blackmail him, and he was taking photos from the closet. They had music playing, and he starts humming the song that was playing during that scene.
Yeah. You got to be pretty bad at your job to that seems like such a stupid like mistake to slip up on.
Yeah, I really I think Saul Goodman would be really upset at the
Yeah.
skills on display here. Really bad stuff.
Oh,
So, but no, I mean, I think I think it was helped by good performances. I think this one would have
mhm.
fell flat if the actors weren't so animated into their
Yeah.
roles. Yeah,
And I did think there's a good bit of gore at the end. So when the ghost or whatever of Mr. Chalmers or whatever comes out and he puts his hand through the girl's chest and like rips her heart out, and I was like, oh, that's a good bit of gore. And
yeah, and obviously he lifts
yeah,
up the the platter, and
mhm.
it's the the beheaded Benjamin's like
Oh, okay, yeah.
like lying in the platter, and he's all bloody and stuff. Yeah, so it's
And there's
decent
a
moments.
and with the blind wife, I guess she has like some like assistant or butler or something that's just there too that was like never mentioned before.
Yeah, she keeps asking him what he sees and what's going on, and I think at one point, like when after he says, "Oh, it's Mr. Chambers, he's here," he's like, "He looks rather poorly, ma'am." Like, yeah, he's dead. So
I thought that was funny, but and again, that was just one of those things where I was like, all right, who's this guy? Where did he come from? Uh,
yeah, yeah, uh, yeah, and the Crypt Keeper segments were whatever. They've been kind of hit and miss recently. The Crypt Keeper segments.
yeah, there he was doing a like kind of, uh, I guess, kind of a Casablanca thing. It seemed like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was weird. It was a bit weird. I don't know.
You
I
know,
feel like,
I'll say though, even though the segments are have been kind of hit or miss, but like the the puppetry on the Crypt Keeper, I think always just looks so good. Just the way his mouth and stuff moves
oh
is
yeah, yeah, he looks
always
good.
entertaining, even if it's kind of crappy segment. I don't know. I think it's just entertaining to look at.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I did recognize the lead actress in this,
Oh, okay.
Kathy Moriarty. Yeah, that is exactly what I know her from. I mean, she's been in a few things, but the first thing that springs to mind is Casper. She's the villain
Oh,
in Casper.
oh, okay.
She was also in Kindergarten Cop, and apparently she was in Raging Bull. I don't remember her in that, but it's been a long time since I've
Hmm.
seen that. But yeah, but no, I've read that. I can place her exactly in those movies. So,
Cool.
um, but no, there you go. I guess that wraps up another Tales from the Crypt. Not a super amount to talk about in this one. I mean, as much as we're
Yeah.
saying it's really convoluted, it also didn't like it was really simple at the same time. Like
Yeah.
the actual events were simple, but the setup for all of them was really convoluted.
It was just kind of like a lot of stuff out of nowhere.
It was
It
like
just like
it was like
it's not confusing, but
yeah, it was like they had the idea for the con job, they had the idea for the seance thing at the end, and they weren't really connected at first. And they thought, okay, how can we put these together? Because and I'm not even sure what purpose the starting with the seance scene at the start and then cutting back a
yeah,
week. I don't. I'm not even sure what that does. What the purpose of that is.
I don't think there really was much. Yeah, I think you could have just told this like completely linear and it would have been fine.
Especially since, like, when. I mean, I guess the only thing that we really get out of it is that when the wife's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have a seance so that I can talk to my dead husband and ask him. It's like,
Oh yeah,
oh, that's how we get to where they're
yeah,
there. But it's really not that much of a moment. Like, honestly,
yeah.
that would have been just as funny without that because they'd be like, really? We're going to try and talk to your dead husband to ask if he still wants to give the money away? Like, that seems. But,
Huh.
hey. So yeah, it was another okay episode. We've had two
Mhm.
okay episodes in a row. Not great, but not bad. Um, so let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz for channel updates. You can head over to patreon.com/mildfuzztv if you want to support the channel and everything we do here. You can get episodes of these Tales from the Crypt reviews early if I can speak properly. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, you get these early by a week if you're on Patreon. But that is otherwise us, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Keep watching Scary TV, and we will see you next time.